Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. This morning, you know, all our guests are friends, but a friend in the house, Dr. Okwe Banwo. No, I added an actual, I added some, it's Banwo. But it ends up being the same thing as Banwo, but it is correctly Banwo.
Yes.
There you go. So, a fine morning to you. We're great to have you
so much.
back home.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're here for the next 6 months.
Even you two, you're laughing. You know, those of us who have escaped, we have to stay escaping, but we love coming back home. I love coming back home.
I don't like, you see, don't let me start on that. Escaped where? We that were here, Uncle. We are not talking about...
escaped that time. We are trying to come back. We are jackpaddying.
Anyway, great to have you.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at the, 100-day, well, President Trump's MAGA and America First ideologies.
Yes.
Along the line, you just coming from there, you're a working professional in the U.S. Maybe we could start with you appraising his first 100 days in office, which, the 100th day of President Trump in office was April 30.
Yes, 29th,
so, yes, 29/30. So what do you think? And I'm asking this against the backdrop of Trump has been so very active. I think in the first 100 days or so, he signed 143 executive orders, the most signed by any president. So how does all of that affect us in Africa? And I'm afraid I must just confess that, well, I'm looking out for my own self-interest. His trade, his attitude towards China, and the power of China in terms of trade. Do you think this is going to affect us?
Oh, yes, I think I'm positively too. But first, I need to be clear. See, sometimes when I have to be clear, I don't like Trump's personality. I don't like his bull in a China shop approach. I don't like the name calling. I don't like his name combative tone. But when we are praising Trump, we need to separate the person from the policies. Okay. And that is what a lot of people find difficult to do, because some people say, why can I be supporting Donald Trump? I'm not supporting Donald Trump. I'm supporting his policies, many of them. And the MAGA agenda is just what it is. It's not about Trump. It's make America great again. Its focus is on America. You might like it or not. But the point is to start from. I think the issues that the MAGA agenda focus on, things like secure borders, a strong economy, energy independence, deregulation, putting America first. How can anybody quarrel with that? That's what we should be doing in Nigeria. So if we are to start with the problems with the trade war with China, I think we are the winners. We just don't see it yet. We want them to fight. Guess what? Because the more America decides to be less dependent on China, they're going to look for alternative sources, which opens up exports for Nigerians. Because the 25 trillion economy is not going away. Americans like to consume. They're still going to keep consuming, no matter whatever MAGA we are doing. So if America starts getting less dependent on China, it opens up opportunities for our exports, even though, of course, we have to pay some tariff now. So meaning that we need to focus now on making ourselves ready to be part of the alternatives that America will be looking for. Because at the end of the day, that's their goal. They don't want to be dependent on China. Will anybody say that's a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. America shouldn't be dependent on them. But we that are watching, rather than us castigating Donald Trump, we should be putting policies in place to make our exports viable now. Because it's going to come.
In fact, here we're even asking in the midterm review of our president's administration, can the Nigeria First policy actually fire up sluggish manufacturing sector? One of the papers has it as a headline this morning.
100%. 100%. In fact, my own organization, Nigeria Lives Matter, I own this social organization. We are launching manga. Make Nigeria great again. If America can have manga, why can't we have manga? Make Nigeria great again.
We certainly have Nigeria First.
Yes, Nigeria First is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
So manufacturing that we can then be able to present to the world. We have too much that not harnessing it is just a shame. So make Nigeria great again. Nigeria First is a great agenda. We have no business going to be thinking of Burkina Faso or Niger when people are starving in Nigeria. And so it's one of the areas we call on Mr. President, let's focus more on Nigeria. And they are doing it now. We are seeing some palpable improvements, but they should do it more. Let the rest take care of themselves first. We have 200 million people, that some of them literally starving today. We don't have time to be worrying about what Burkina Faso is doing. And that is what Trump has triggered. Okay, it's actually globalizing the economy. You know, it was globalization one time that was raining. Now is everybody pulling back, take care, let everybody shock back, as they say in Yoruba language. It's now pulling back and it's triggering that. Even Britain, you saw last week, demonstrations about wanting immigrants out. So we too should focus on our own local issues. And then eventually, it will become like a trade by barter thing. What do you have to give me? Trump has signaled that the old change that he's doing that many people don't get, he wants to move away from the American engagement where they exercise power by giving grants, by spending money through organizations like USAID that gives them soft power, because whoever gives you money dictates what you do. He wants to change that to bilateral trade, to trade-based relationship. So rather than us quarreling that he closed USAID, we should be looking what kind of value can we bring to the table for America. You say deals, man. You give Donald Trump a deal, he's going to take it and suck up to him a little bit. He'll give you whatever you want.
That's why you were saying separate the man.
Yes,
you know, the man Donald Trump.
Yes, from the policies.
From the policies
yes.
Here. It's interesting you spoke about, you mentioned Burkina Faso in passing in saying that we shouldn't be concerned with those kind of things. Well,
yes.
To the extent that, you know, Nigeria being part of ECOWAS is still trying to persuade them to come back in.
Yes.
The point has also been made in recent times that a lot of social media stuff you see about Burkina Faso and its leader, it's actually thought to be AI stuff. There's nothing you don't see. That place is becoming like Paris now. The man has built houses for free.
I don't think that's true.
It's not true.
I don't think it's true.
It's not.
When I saw that they say it's building houses for everyone, I'm like, are you kidding me with what?
The cable fact-checking section has debunked it.
Of course.
You know, that,
where it is the money? No, it doesn't have it. And when you have a president that is going around with gun in his pocket, I think that is just what I call tribal diplomacy. They don't do that anymore. It makes him look ridiculous to even me.
Well,
no, I like the fact that he's trying, the nationalism thing, trying to position Africa, but you position yourself for strength when you have something to give. What is in Burkina Faso? Those who are egging him on, they just want to destroy the country, with all due respect. You can't pick fights with the major superpowers. It's Burkina Faso we are talking about. This is not even Nigeria. We can do that and probably get away with it, because we can be self-contained if we are forced. Right now, we are just enjoying because we are doing all this stuff because we have not been forced. If we became like a South Africa where we are forced to survive on our own economy, Nigeria will be okay. We have everything, not Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
Okay, so people then exaggerate and they elevate him to the level of a cult status when really nothing much. I hear you on that.
And as you say, all of that is what is out there, but according to the cable fact-checking, it actually says that there are some Nigerian AI enthusiasts who are behind all of this. Now, by the time they fact-checked all of this matter, it just didn't pan out. So why do we do those kind of things? What exactly are we trying to achieve? But
but social media is going to be social media, because right now, a lot of money is out there in social media. You get 100,000 views, you get like $1,000 or $500. Why would people do that? So they sit down and concoct stories that are crazy just to get the clicks. And sometimes it misinforms the public, it misinforms everyone. But that's a whole separate discussion.
It is. So you think that the Nigeria First policy can actually fire up our sluggish manufacturing sector? Manufacturers, as you know, have shut down where they can and have moved out of Nigeria. It's tough generally. And the president, our president here, has said that, look, we have to focus on buying Nigeria, eating Nigeria, living Nigeria.
Yeah, it's a good idea and concept, but with all due respect, though, for that to work, because Nigerians our leaders must lay very good example. I'm not going to pull punches for you here. But
you never have.
Okay, yes. So,
you never have.
Yeah, so,
even when you were younger.
So the idea of buy Nigeria first, support Nigeria first, needs to be modeled by our leaders first, and that is where, with all due respect, I may have some challenges with the government in the sense that if you want them to buy Nigeria, we have Innocent Motors, we have the other one in Lagos. Why is our government not patronizing that? Nigerian government alone patronizing Innocent Motors, or if they don't like Innocent, if there is another one in Lagos, I forgot his name, alone will transform that manufacturing side of the industry. If your president is driving Innocent Motors, you will be driving it. I might now feel the need to buy, but we're not doing that. So But it's a great idea. But let's not deceive ourselves. Slogans alone don't make it work. Obasanjo made it work because he was riding Peugeot. And he has a farm.
For a brief period.
Yeah, for a brief period.
It needs to be said. For a brief period.
Yes, that's all it takes, sir.
But he dropped it. He began, as you know, especially when he came back the second time in Agbada.
Yeah, no, that second time I don't know about. But when you look at the Operation Feed the Nation.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at Operation Feed the Nation, where himself, even though he diverted a lot of the stuff to himself, but he galvanized a whole class of people that go into farming. When he was riding Peugeot, most companies, they now make it their official cars too, without being forced. So what I'm saying that, and that's the only way we're going to make it. Okay, we have to think Nigeria first. I know it's hard. And say, why do you want to abandon all those other? But if the person that is going to also anybody up must be standing. So it must start with our leaders. It's all symbolic. You have to understand. For most people, some of these things are symbolic. How many people are wearing the kind of cap that the president wears now? You see it all over the place. Now people don't even wear a cap before. That's what they're wearing. Why? Because everything is symbolic. And when Atiku started wearing that, it's Atiku thing. It became Atiku. Everybody became. It has become a brand. So our leaders should model that for us. We should see them buying Nigeria, supporting Nigeria, not just talking Nigeria. That's why I like Sanwo-Olu, for instance. When he had somebody who was doing something about AI, even though it was not even an AI movie, he was out there pushing this person. So our leaders need to support us first. Then maybe, because the idea can be great, but people are not going to buy into it. It's like saying people should be staying here. I know you're not going to like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's like saying we should stay in Nigeria and be taking our health system. But every month you wake up, your president's abroad. I understand that different health issues, and everybody has a right to go get their best health. But we need to lay the good examples here, with all due respect. So, and I think they're getting back to that now, a little bit. They're getting back to that. Maybe second time will be different, because second time is when presidents really do what they want. Right now, most people are doing stuff for the politics of it, to survive, just to get a second time. Second time, the real agenda will come out, and they can then do what they need to do. I just saw what Wale Edun and CBN did. They are not talking about that enough. They reduce all the e-cops that prevents people like me from being able to access Nigerian financial economy. I thought one of the most revolutionary things. The 7-point thing where they reduce how to open bank account here, how to maintain one, how to invest. Those 7 things, I wish government would be trumpeting it everywhere. They are not.
Well, they should be, because as the president has, actually challenged all of these people, say, go out there and tell what we are doing.
Thank you.
Elder David in Alimosho, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling. Go on, contribute your.
Thank you very much. Okay. What Trump is doing now in U.S., in fact, God have touched him. God have touched him. I never even expected he's going to win the election. Let me tell you, it was Harris I supported. But since Americans have their own system, they don't want a woman there. And he was elected. And the first time he came in, we know what he did. That was why I'm not comfortable with him. But today, God have touched him that is going around now. Peace. America is the police of the world. And whoever ruled there, God used him to correct all the bad things that are happening in the world. Yes, I know it's a Republican. Whenever they are there, they fight war in order to correct the mistake of other people. They did it when Gaddafi bombed an aircraft that killed more than 100 people, supported by Russia. Then they did it again. They now embrace Qatar. He called Qatar a terrorist country before he had been there, to settle with the Arab countries so that there be peace in the Middle East.
So you love what Trump is doing. Elder David, so what you're saying is that you love what Trump is doing for America.
I
think it's a one-way conversation. I don't think he's hearing us.
Don't make reference to Obasanjo. Obasanjo first time, Operation This the Nation, he used it to acquire land. And nobody came from it. Even the whole back today, people are there.
You're not the only one shooting from the hip today. You can see everybody is having his say. Thank you very much, as always, Elder David. Appreciate your calling in. There are other aspects that we could look at. For instance, this whole matter of Trump I don't know if you would recommend the same for here. Trump trying to cut the cost of governance. In fact, there are people who are thinking he's gone overboard with Trump in charge of that department, and Trump also has his own issues. It might possibly be that Trump might become baggage to his administration. But what are your thoughts on that?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
That's going to be sacrificial lamb when it comes to a game time. But the truth of the matter is that what Trump is doing, I know those who don't like him don't want to see that, has to be done. When things have been so excessive and you need to cut back, there's going to be pain, which is what Nigeria too, and I'm going to come to Nigeria in a second. You cannot, America is like that, is the typical billionaire in Nigeria who owns all the banks and is money, but is going out there doing charity, giving money away. America is the biggest debtor in the world. If China causing their debt today, America will collapse. So they can't go out, continue to go out and be doing Father Christmas. You have to cut down cost of government. You have to take out things like USAID and all that. It is painful to Nigeria and other countries that are benefiting.
And even painful to America itself.
Oh, yes, Americans, even some who supported Trump before are upset.
Right now, universities are busy writing up and down that this man or our standards is going to lower it with his policies. He's cutting aid that have been traditional.
Yes, but he's saying he's moving away from donor-based relationship to trade-based relationship, which is why in Nigeria, we should be looking. Trump doesn't like multilateral deals. He wants one-on-one, which is why our own country should package deals that favor, that does something for America and sell directly to him. He will buy. Versus trying to deal with him with ECOWAS. Or he doesn't like all this ECOWAS, UNO. He doesn't like that. It was a one-on-one deal.
So you go back to the point of try and understand the man.
Because
I don't think he was Trump, arguably was not a politician. He was a businessman, a deal maker.
Thank you.
That's his first concern.
You see, go to Saudi Arabia, collect 200 billion in deals. That is how he wants to deal.
Even reportedly has accepted a plain gift.
Yeah, 400 million. That one, I don't agree that he have accepted it. I don't agree on that. But
of course.
400 million, because who pays the papa dictates the tune. You can't collect 400 million dollar plane, and they are saying that a few days before he leaves office, they will transfer it to his presidential library. So basically, it's his personal thing. No, I'm not for that. But coming back to Nigeria,
just before you go there, Mr. George has called in, so let's not keep him waiting too long. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to Dr. Banwo.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Thank him for coming to see how we are suffering here.
We are suffering together.
Uncle Yori, please permit me to disagree with Dr. Okpe's definition of Trump.
Okay.
You cannot separate a man's character from his actions. The action a man takes breathes from his personal character. That is why you see Donald Trump has a racist orientation in his thinking. He's a racist by my own assessment. You look at the remarks he made about his predecessor, a man that was president before him, Obama. He called Obama, he should go to his shithole country. He was mocking him because of his color. And because of that, his racist orientation, that is what is bringing about this idea of deporting people that are not American, wanting to make sure what is in the Constitution about birthright is prescribed. America is not for you. Even if you were born here, it's not for you. All those things came from his racist orientation.
Okay.
Even the America First policy also stemmed from that. So when you say his person is different from his actions, it's difficult to defend. Because all these actions I'm talking about stem from his character. You cannot look at President Tinubu, for example. We have never had a president that has been abused and hated by people like him. But you still see his actions. He does not discriminate. He even appoints people that had abused him in the past into his cabinet. That is his character.
Okay.
That is the very opposite of what you see in the case of Trump. America's first policy is not necessarily because he is a good man. It stems from that his racist background.
Oh, all right then.
On the other hand, Okuyori, please, I agree with Tope for his argument on making do with Nigerian products.
Okay.
You know, I said it before when we discussed it, that let the leaders show example by using our Nigerian products like the cars, the manufacture in the East, and there is the one you were talking about in Lagos is Lagrat, the company that manufactures those cars they call Lagrat. If they are empowered, they can manufacture more cars, but let the public officials use these cars first for people to know that they are serious about what they are saying. I agree with that one, but not on Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In fact, talking about that,
I think it's interesting that people always see Trump as a racist, and I always laugh that in a country where the whites are 70%, the blacks want to have equal opportunities with them. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's human nature. But I'm not here to defend racist policies or whatever. What I want you to tell me is which of Trump's policies make no sense. Then we can have an argument. Is it his secure border that doesn't make sense?
Well,
Should a country secure its borders? Is it saying that aliens that are illegal in their country, both the criminal, let's even say the ones that are not even criminal, that wants them out of the country, let them come legally. Is that the one that is bad? Forget that it's affecting us negatively.
Yes.
I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm losing money. Every day Trump is in power, I'm losing money. Why? Because people don't go and hire immigration lawyers anymore. They know they're not going to win. They're going to deport them anyway. They don't want to file so that they don't put themselves in the eye of the immigration. So our income in my law firm has dropped by like 30%. But am I against his immigration policy? No, I'm not. Because if I'm president of America, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Okay? You can't be illegal. You want to stay here. There's more than 100 ways to become legal in America. I know this because it's my job. I've been doing it for 20-something years. But many people come in there, they don't even explore any of that. They stay there illegal because nobody chases them. Now, somebody finally came and said, no, if you're illegal, you got to go. And everybody's getting angry. No, don't get angry. Go and fix your country, which is what I'm doing. This is my third time here in Nigeria this year. Now I know that I may have a blue passport. I don't have a country. Nigeria is my country. I better come here and stress everybody. Let's make Nigeria better. Because very, very soon said, if I even take my blue passport, I better not wait for that time to fix my country. So a lot of people, when they look at Trump's policies from how it affects them, they see him as racist. But I don't, and I'm black. I understand the reason why you want to secure your borders.
Well, and it also perhaps needs to be added that Trump has support among the blacks in America.
Exactly, because they know he's not racist. Again, his actions may appear to people to be racist.
Yes.
Or that he does, like he said, he doesn't, President Tinubu appoints those who criticize him. The current Vice President Vance was one of the most vocal critics of Donald Trump. He called him all sorts of names.
That's right.
But he's Vice President today. So what are they talking about? Trump is a deal person. If you are the person that hated him the most, you give him a good deal tomorrow, Trump is going to sign and you become his best buddy. And when you're not giving him deal again, he says you're the most useless person. You will see what he will do to Elon Musk when he's done with Elon Musk.
Everybody is waiting for that.
You can quote me when he comes. He will say, I thought he was a smart guy. I didn't know he was not smart. He's a useless boy. That's Donald Trump for you. He will use you when you are useful, when you are no longer useful. He will discard it, and which is what most politicians do. You know, the difference between Trump and most politicians is that Trump doesn't lie about who he is. Trump doesn't pretend that he's this when he's that. He has exposed the whole America to the whole world for what they are, which is, yes, like you said, borderline racist. But is that wrong? We're also borderline tribal here. When the president is there, when President Tinubu appoints somebody, what is the first thing the Hausa man and the Igbo man
We
do?
analyze.
If he's a Yoruba guy,
we will analyze it.
Brothers. They don't remember the ones he has done, where he has Igbos and Hausas. Anytime he announces Yoruba, watch social media. He put all his brothers and sisters there. So what makes us different? So we are also racist.
So it might, well, I wouldn't even go as far. It might just be the perception. It might be the perception that people take.
Exactly. So when a man is doing something that favors 70% of the population that is white, you say is racist. They are in the majority for a reason. Okay? So, and the blacks who understand that, come to think of it, some of the most consequential laws that favor blacks in America was passed by Trump.
Is that right?
Yes, the one about the court system, where is geared against every black person from the day you were born. He passed this comprehensive justice reform system that favored blacks.
That reminds me, you're right,
Yes.
you know, and he put judges in the Supreme Court
Yes.
that are known to have similar dispositions
Of
to
course,
his way of thinking.
He has to do that in
and
politics.
You can't, no matter who you are, you can't touch, that's the one quirk of American constitutional.
Yes,
you
the
can't
Supreme
touch
Court.
that person until the day God calls them home.
Exactly.
You know.
So he has tagged the court deliberately too. Look at Buhari now. No, look at this. Buhari say, I can work with anybody. Look at what happened with this National Assembly. Instead of taking sides and putting his own guy or supporting his own guy to be Speaker and the President of the Senate, he said, I work with him. He got a Saraki who made his life miserable. No, this Mr. President, did he do that? He said, no, whoever is going to be there, they might put I.
Yes.
Why? Because you have to work with the other arms of government. And if you don't have influence with them, the truth of the matter is that they can frustrate your agenda, which is what is happening in the U.S. All those Biden-appointed judges, you can see that the High Court, they always loses because they will cut him out, they will cancel his executive order. But you know he has a joker. When they get to the Supreme Court, he will get a fair hearing. He doesn't win everything there, don't get me wrong. But he knows that he is more favorably disposed to him. So when they are listening, they are already biased towards him. When they say no, that means it's really bad, which is why I was very upset when he was trying to defy the Supreme Court. I said, no. These people have been very fair to you. The day they tell you no, you should take your no and just go. Don't be threatening them.
There was a time when Okwe was said to be a supporter of a particular political party, and he had clarified the air on that. Say, don't mix things up. I might like certain ideas, but I'm not supporting any one individual. Did I put that right?
I'm Nigeria Lives Matter. I'm for Nigeria. I'm not supporting any individual.
There was a time when it was thought that you were an Obi man, inside out.
I was for a time.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I was for a time, but I felt that was a mistake because in Nigeria Lives Matter, we're supposed to be independent and be equal opportunity basic people. You do right, we hail you, you don't do right. So if we get involved in supporting one party over the other, then we lose our objectivity. And that's where we went back to. After election.
Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir. Are you still there, Mazi Okoroafo? Can I have lost him? Anyhow, well, I'm sure Mazi, he usually does. Yes. He'll come back.
Yes.
Mazi? Okay, I think we lost the call, but whenever you do get back. Okay, so we're looking at all things between America and Nigeria. Dr. Banwo has talked very, very, briefly about this whole, as I said, an immigration lawyer. He knows the subject matter. He's worked at it, as he just, said, for, upwards of 20 years. So he knows it. But now, immigration, maybe some people were concerned when the man began to, that is the U.S. president, began to talk funny to the view of most foreigners who had become naturalized citizens in there. He's saying that even if you were born here, I'm looking for ways to undo it all. And you go back to your country and all of that, I don't know. Those kind of things, they can't go very far, because I was saying that among the things that President Trump is proposing, some of them have immediately been challenged by law, in the court of law. Your thoughts on that whole area?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it won't go anywhere. I've seen stuff Trump does, especially since he has a Supreme Court that is favorably disposed to some of his, the default mode is to support him. But when it's so outrageous, then they go against him. So I'm not going to say it won't work, because it will surprise everybody that the clause of the Constitution that says to get birthright for being born in the U.S. is not as clear-cut as it looked. Seriously. But it has been settled law for more than 150 years.
Okay.
So Trump is not likely to be able to upturn it. But can he make an argument? He can make an argument. I can make an argument that is not automatic, because if you look at the section of the law of the Constitution, it didn't say specifically. Okay? So now, but Trump, I don't think Trump is going there. He's never going to win that. Okay? He's never
Since they will pursue it all the way up to the Supreme Court,
but
still.
Trump starts out with 10, his objective all along is to get 3. Okay? That's why it looks like he's losing to those who don't understand Trump's strategy. It's like this tariff thing.
Yes.
When he started dropping tariff on everybody, and now all of a sudden say, I suspended for 90 days. All of a sudden he says he's reducing it. People thought he had lost. But look at him and China. When the war started, China was charging tariffs to American products at 8% and 10%. America was charging China tariff at 2%, 1%. Where are they now that everybody has now settled for? America is charging China 30%, and China is charging American products 10%. So Trump has been able to turn it around in favor of America by an order of more than 300%. Nobody, because people are focusing on the fact that he charged them 125%. Now it's at 30%. They say we reduced.
Yeah, so
but when you look at the bottom line,
but as a deal maker, that might have been his plan, his goal from the get-go.
From the get-go, that is his. So by the time they finish this their conference they are doing, I can tell you for free where would they settle at. U.S. will be collecting like 25% tariff from China. China will probably be collecting 12%. We win. So, and it's doing that with I had bets all over the place. Even the whole of Nigeria will bet you. By the end of the year, the end of this year, America will be in a better tariff position than they started. Okay. Where it is 2%, they'll be at 10. Where it is 1%, they'll be at 6. And yet, it will look like he withdrew. Because that's his plan. Scatter the ground and then pull back a bit. I know you have a caller.
Yes, thank you. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir. You've come back on again. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. You see, Sir Jody, when we talk about this China war because of American tariff and the rest, you see, as of yesterday, we say that...
And how it will affect us in Africa.
Yes. Now, President Nani said that Nigeria is at 20% against that 14% we used to see. But the thing is this. The tariff we are talking, you see, it's just like a few days ago when the National Assembly that Nigeria should be into vehicles produced in Nigeria.
Yes.
That is to say, patronize homemade products.
Nigeria first, the Nigeria first policy.
Yes. And instead of depending on foreign vehicles. Because if you look at Innocent, they're up to another company, is it in Lagos or where? I don't know where I don't know. Another up to 3 or 4 places. Do you know that if you go to Newi today, there is Newi, either Newi North or South in Anambra State. There is nothing you talk about vehicles that is not there. Why are we not patronizing? When you call the things about made, are they made? At the end of those are they made are Newi last longer than the one we bring from outside Nigeria. Now, ask us where is it? Now, the third one, whether the China dominated America for years. Now, some has come back now with the best, the richest man, which everybody knows that is Trump's cabinet, the richest advisor. You know that man, Musk. He's telling Trump exactly what this is all about. And Trump is listening to the man, and the man is doing the needful. The richest man working with Trump, you know what it means? He's man looking for money. It's not, he just bring his own business advisor. And Trump, being a businessman as per he thinks that the best option is for them to concentrate more. Now look, if America will go back to the basics on what Trump has just bring this tariff, China base their own, anyone from other countries, the tax high. They are boosting the economy of America. Let's see about everything that I raised. The everything has to do with all this issue of migrants. Is the fact that even Pope Francis kicked against that issue of Trump sending Africa. Even the Pope Leo, the same thing. Even if you listen to someone yesterday, even the president came to, he was saying about this migrant. Because somebody cannot come and stay in their place for 5 years, 10 years, 11 years, 15 years, 20 years. You are not telling him to go back where he's coming from. Where is he going to settle? From where? All his life is already in your place, and you are telling him to go and do. Where is he going? Where will he start? Where is he going to settle? So that is why the migrants that I kick against that is not supposed to come on board. That is, anybody that have not normalized his papers, let him or her normalize his paper, continue his needful. Now, what do we do? What do we get? The trade war is favoring Africa. Look at Burkina Faso. What is happening there in Burkina Faso? They have come back home. The uranium which they use to manufacture different things, they have concentrated. We saw what happened halfway. They wanted to betray the president. What happened? I think it was giving money. So that is why I'm saying that.
Do we really know what is happening in Burkina Faso? Mazi, do we really know what is happening in Burkina Faso? This is the question that some are asking.
Now, when you went to this, 40 years anniversary when he was interviewed. When he went to Russia, when he was interviewed. If you are what that for, I think this is what I'm trying to say that concern. But let's come back to what you are saying this morning based on your topic.
Okay.
But the thing is, I want to say that it is good for Africa to come back home and sit down and have their own resources as depending outside. If the vehicle issue, the National Assembly appraised issue, we concentrate on it. I bet you, all this university of technology, where we have all these boys and girls, mechanical, electrical, it's better. As of yesterday or day president, I was speaking with one dean of studies. What was he telling me? He said that Polytechnic where he's working, that they have everything it takes instead of vocational training and the rest. That they have all it takes to manufacture any type of rifle, any type of bullet in their case, in their own Polytechnic in this country.
Okay, Mazi, thank you very much for calling in. We really do appreciate that. Somehow we lost the call, but you got back in again. Well, we always hear these things about nice patriotic things about why you have even touched that area this morning. That why are we not patronizing the manufacturers that of vehicles, for instance? Yes. But I don't know. Are we really the makers of those things, or are we assembling?
From what I've seen videos of Innocent Motors, they are actually making them. They are not just assembling.
I see.
Okay, I see. They show the factory. And again, you have to understand, and it keeps coming back to our leader because of the kind of economy we have. Government in Nigeria is the biggest spender. Almost all the big companies, without government patronizing them, they shut down. That's where we are now. So if we want to really start to patronize Nigerian things, it's not hard. If the National Assembly wants to buy cars, they pass a resolution that all those cars should be bought from Innocent. Do you know what that would do to the economy of the East? Let's not miss these words. So all those cars that they went and spent hundreds of millions of dollars for abroad, I understand that Innocent even gave them a great deal because he knows the implication. If our senators, our House of Reps are driving Innocent Motors, or is this Stallion? The other one is Nord that I was looking for. That's Nord manufacturing that's in Lagos. If they are driving Nigerian products, it's a psychological thing. Now it becomes hip. It's not hip simply because it's cheaper or because it's Nigeria. But if it is modeled by our leaders, that's how it works. The ultimate car you want to buy in terms of Obasanjo, I'm talking about when he was even head of the, is to buy a Peugeot. It's not as if there are no Lincoln Continentals at that time, but that's what the president is driving.
At the time, yes.
So it's hip. But so that's all and it's very painful. The National Assembly did a big, because I know we are all blaming Tinubu for this, but Tinubu didn't tell National Assembly to go and buy the cars from abroad. They could have passed a resolution and bought it from Innocent. We will have transformed the manufacturing sector in Nigeria. Why? Because when he gets that, now every other manufacturer that is out there are now inspired to put more money. When they start competing, that means states.
So what do you think the logic is? Because this seems so straightforward and
because
simple.
They want to chop money. You want what the real logic is, because when they go and buy those cars for $150,000 or $250,000 abroad, somewhere in translation, about 50,000 to 60,000 of that money is in somebody's pocket. Because we know how much those cars are worth. Let's not mince words. Those National Assembly, the Akpabio and his group that passed that in, they did Nigeria a big disservice because of what they will eat. It's just what it is. Why? No, it's because of what they will eat. What is the benefit to them? Innocent promised to build them luxury vehicles. He promised to build. I'm upset about that.
It can even bulletproof?
Bulletproof. He can do it. He told them even. I saw one in Obasanjo's house that Innocent took there. Obasanjo himself told it. I saw the video. It was bulletproof. So what are they looking for? So all
these things can be done. But for some reason, yes, we're not yet comfortable with that Nigeria.
Not that we're not comfortable. The idea of buying Nigeria. Let's just call a spade the way it is. Those in authority, unfortunately, when the Igbos now saying we are discriminated against, that's where they come from. Many feel, and I happen to be one of those, and I'm Yoruba, that they didn't want to empower Innocent. I don't care what they tell me, because they could have done that. If they did that, we'll be talking different. I will be driving Innocent today, or go buy Nord. At that point, when they do Innocent, the Lagos State people probably will buy from that Lagos State guy. Then the competition starts, which is what we want. I can then say, okay, I want to do my own Yoruba support. Let me go back from the Lagos State guy. But it's going to be all in Nigeria. But they went and bought it abroad. and missed that opportunity. Now, Innocent is struggling. I'm not going to say struggling, but it could have been the catalyst that we needed, and we missed that opportunity. And Mr. President can still help us. They buy cars every year, and I'm calling on them. National Assembly, when you're going to do your renewal, I don't care if you don't want Innocent. This is not me, I don't do politics.
Yeah, it's about buy Nigeria.
Even Dangote has an automobile company. People don't know that. No, Dangote has.
Not very many people know that.
Dangote does. There's Dangote Automobiles. There is a Nord. There is a Stallion. There's at least 4. Okay, maybe this one, because I also know politics has consequences. If you are not supporting the people to get to power, they don't have to look at you first to support me. I'm not sentimental. If you didn't vote for me, the Igbos did not vote for Asiwaju. They have no right to expect that it will prioritize them. I get that. But prioritize the one that supports you. There are people in Lagos who are making cars. So patronize the North who put you in power. I will have no problem. Let Innocent go and queue up. When it gets to his turn, maybe the third guy, then they can patronize. I won't quarrel because they call it Oshelu. If you let Oshelu, help Oshelu to get there, you have a right to demand support from that Oshelu. I have no problem. But when you take it abroad, it's my problem.
It's a loss to all of us.
I will be here defending the president, for instance, if they bought those cars from Lagos State and people are saying it's patronizing Yoruba. I'll say, Dagbe, is he going to buy from Innocent when the people that went to the polls to go and fight for him have not yet been patronized? It's democracy.
Okay, well, again, you see, you don't pull your punches.
No, I've said
even when you were over there.
They will drag me, it's okay.
Well,
it's okay.
No, it's not dragging. Everybody has the right of response.
Yes,
it's
that's
like,
true.
you know, just like Mr. George called in and said, well, I beg to differ in certain aspects, you know, but still, they will fight for your right to say it from your own point of view.
We need to support Nigeria. Nigeria first is critical. And it starts with our leader. I cannot overemphasize that. Even our banks, not just, yes, we focus on the political leaders first, but also those in power or who have the resources. I'm talking about the Elumelus of this world. Those guys who have the resources. If they focus on supporting just Nigeria, it will trickle down. The average man on the street follows what his leader is doing. They don't make policy. They don't even decide for themselves. The reality, the average man out there wants to do what his leader is doing. Okay? If I'm a politician now, and I have followers, as I wear this cap and I wear this, guess what? My followers will start buying it. Those who want my favor, those who want me with that. So if the leaders are doing that, it's easy to do Nigeria first. But our leaders are not doing it.
Okay.
And so we have a problem.
Okay, I guess this time we'll take that from you. You support Nigeria first policy,
100%.
but you are questioning whether our leaders are supporting that policy themselves.
Yes.
That
is the cocoa of the matter.
Let's
100%.
take that as a nugget that Okwe dropped when he came in person to studio. So he wasn't just using the ether to cover and be saying it from yonder. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate that.
Really appreciate your coming in.
Okay,
so we're going to have to leave it here now.
Okay.
So thank you once again for coming.
Thank you.
That's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.